Good morning, dear children. I'm Sonali, and today we are going to begin with our 8th chapter in History and Political Science. This is the 8th chapter in History, Tourism and History. In this chapter, we are going to discuss tourism in the past, that is, how tourism used to take place in the past. Was it there or not? Then we are also going to see the types of tourism. We are going to discuss about development of tourism, how it developed, how earlier how it was, and how, after development, um, what type of tourism we have now. Also, we are going to see the conservation and preservation of our historical places, why the conservation and preservation of the historical places is important, and also we are going to discuss the professional opportunities in the tourism and hospitality industry. So, in fact, in the last point, that is 8.5, we are going to see, or we are going to discuss the how the hospitality and tourism industry gives us professional opportunities, or what all professional opportunities are available in the tourism and hospitality industry. So, we will begin with 8.1, tourism in the past. So, children, the tradition of traveling is quite old in India. People used to travel for various reasons like pilgrimage, going to local fairs and festivals, in search of renowned teacher and good education, for trade, etc. In brief, from ancient time, people took to traveling for various reasons. So, in this paragraph, we have seen that since ancient times, since very long ago, we have the tradition of traveling in India. Now that time, when in the ancient time or in the very old time, when people used to travel, they used to travel for pilgrimage is to visit to their holy places. They also used to travel to go for the local fairs and festivals, or sometimes that time schools or colleges were not prevalent, but then there were the gurus, so they used to travel to long far away places in search of good gurus, good teachers, and where they can get good education. We can see these references in our epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata also, that the sons of the kings also used to go to far away places. They used to go and stay with their gurus, and they used to learn lessons from them. They also used to travel for trade. So if few things were good in one country, those were exported to the other country. Then there was interstate or inter-country also, in the state itself to some faraway place in the same state, or to some other part of the country also. And the things were taken and sold, or things from other places were brought and sold in uh, our country or our state as well. So, in brief, we can say that the ancient people took to traveling for various reasons. So, the ancient people also used to travel for different reasons. Now, tourism. What is tourism? Tourism can be defined as traveling to visit places in distant regions for a specific purpose. Now, tourism means traveling to places, that is what we all know. But then this traveling or this visit to some place has to have some specific purpose. There should be some purpose for that traveling. In the later half of the 19th century CE, the name of Thomas Cook is noteworthy in the context of tourism history. He organized a trip by railway from Leicester to Loughborough for about 600 people. Later, he was successful in organizing a round trip to Europe. Eventually, his, he established a travel agency selling tourist tickets. This early venture of Thomas Cook opened doors for the development of modern tourism. Earlier, children, we all know that if we had to travel from one place to another, we have to plan our own tour. Wherever we had to go, we have to be on our own. Like we have to manage our own ticket bookings, our hotel bookings, or whatever, wherever, which all places we have to go. If we are traveling international, then we have to book for our visas and passports and all that stuff. But in the 19th century, that is the second half of the 19th century CE, there was a name called Thomas Cook, and his contribution in this industry of tourism, in tourism or hotel industry, tourism industry, sorry, was very noteworthy. What he did was he organized a trip by railway for 600 people. He gathered 600 people, and for them a complete trip was planned by him. And he took the responsibility of their travel bookings, their hotel bookings, their itinerary, their places of visits. Then wherever they were supposed to visit, all those places, if they needed tickets or passes or entry tickets or something of that stuff, all that he had arranged and he has managed for that. And it was very successful. And because that was successful, he organized a round trip of Europe. So there was a trip for Europe also he organized, and again he was successful in that also. So eventually he found out that this is a very good business, and that is how the travel agency selling tour tickets came up. So that now we have so many travel agencies and so many people uh, in India also who do these travel bookings or planning these trips for us, like the K series, the Make My Trip, and so many others also. So, but the origin or the first who took the initiative and who started this was Thomas Cook, and we have this known name Thomas Cook. Still, we have, it's a very prominent name, and since so many years they are into this business, and they are the pioneers. They are the one who started this business first. And because of this venture of Thomas Cook, it opened doors for development of modern tourism. So this uh, because of this, there was a new concept of modern tourism, and wherein it became very easy for the people to travel to places because they had someone to plan their trip. They also give advices and suggestions onto which places of our interest, of course depending upon interest, upon our budget. They suggest us what, which places we should which should go, which time of the year we should go, and so many other things related to tourism. Now children, see, this is Thomas Cook, we can see here. And this, he was the pioneer who came up with the concept of the holiday maker, who made holidays happen for the people, or for whoever was interested in traveling, or whoever was interested in tourism. Then this is the place of pilgrimage. Here we can see ancient pilgrimage, wherein people used to visit to these places, holy places, and they used to worship, for worshipping God. Then we have this fair and festival. This type of fairs and festivals used to take place, and for these festivals, this is the Pushkar Mela. This is from the Pushkar Mela, that people have gathered, or people go there in so much of number to offer their prayers and offer their homage to the um, gods or the deities. Then here we have the Gurukul type of learning, wherein I told you earlier also that people used to go to their gurus. So here you can see this is a sort of forest. So there they are taking education from their guru. So they used to travel to so many far away places to take education from their uh, from a good guru. And then this is a picture of a market. This is how people used to go to faraway places and sell their things in the market so that they can have more number of buyers and they can sell more products and of course earn more money. Okay, now we come to the next part, that is 8.2, types of tourism. So children, now there are so many types of tourism. Broadly, we can see that these days tourism has become an important field of local, interstate, national and international business. So basically, business point of view also, when people travel, there are so many categories like local. Local is you travel say within Mumbai, so that is local. Then we travel interstate. So this interstate is within the state itself. Like when we are staying in Maharashtra, we travel only in Maharashtra anywhere. That is interstate. The people staying in Rajasthan travel anywhere in Rajasthan. People staying in Gujarat travel only in Gujarat. That is called as interstate traveling. Then we have national traveling. National, like within our country. Now if we are Indians, we travel in India is national. Outside Maharashtra or outside our state but inside our country, that is national. And international business is anywhere in the world, moving from one country to the other, that is called as international. The desire to visit national and international monuments, places of historical importance and natural beauty, ancient centers known for handicrafts, pilgrim centers, industrial centers, and sites of various developmental projects, etc., promotes tourism. So now here are few more reasons why people travel within the state, within the country, or within the within internationally between countries. Why do they do so? Because sometimes they are uh, so we were discussing in national and international monuments. So if people are interested from India, are interested in seeing the monuments in India, that is that is national monuments, because of they travel for seeing the monuments within their country. So if anyone staying in India travels to Agra to see the Taj Mahal, or travels to Jaipur to see the Hawa Mahal, then that's called as an national rather tourism for national monuments, to see the national monuments in the same country. Then there are international, they do travel or they do visit international countries for monuments, wherein we can say that people travel to Egypt to see the pyramids. Then they also travel to some other country to see the historic to see the um, monuments in that country, that is international uh, visit to an international to see monuments internationally. Then they also have places of historical importance. Now monuments are also a part of historical importance, but then there can be few more things which are not monuments but are of historical importance, just like archives. They can visit to some archive to see, or then they can visit to some um, museums or so. And sometimes they also visit to other places nationally or internationally for natural beauty. So in the state or in the country, we have hill stations which are very naturally beautiful. We so many people travel to Kashmir to see the natural beauty. And also people travel from some other country to Mauritius for the beautiful sea beaches. They travel to Africa for the beautiful jungles, or for so many other countries they do travel for the natural beauty. So this is international, traveling internationally for natural beauties. Then they also travel for ancient centers known for handicrafts. For example, we have very beautiful handicrafts in different parts of our country. Like we have very good handicraft in Jaipur, rather Rajasthan. Then we have beautiful articrafts from um, Orissa, and so many other parts of the country as well. Gujarat is also a very good example for that. So people travel to these places for the handicrafts that are famous for. They also travel for the pilgrim centers, which we have already discussed. They also travel for industrial centers and sites of various developmental projects. So, if any project of any company is being developed in some other part, they do travel for that development of those projects. Or if any business or industrial area is to be set up, or there is some business to be set up in any other industrial area, then the people travel for their business necessities to such other places. It can be national or international. So these are so many reasons, different reasons. There are many more reasons which do promote tourism. Now, tourists from all over the world wish to visit natural and man made sites which offer a delightful and awe inspiring experience. So, we have so many natural sites. Now, natural sites are wherein we have the natural beauty, and then we have the man-made beauty. So natural beauty is wherein we have beautiful places like hill stations, and we have man-made things or man-made sites like the monuments of which are constructed by people. Then there are so many other gardens or zoos or something of that type which are created by the humans, or they are made by the humans, that is called as the man-made sites. And those offer a very delightful, generally the naturals are delightful, and the awe-inspiring experience is, awe is basically surprising. So the surprising and inspiring experiences are usually man made, wherein we get to see such things which we can't even imagine but which are already created by humans or by people long ago. Then the places like snow capped peaks, beaches, pristine jungles, which were neglected previously, became important locations of tourist interest. So earlier, the places like snow-capped peaks. Now it is not possible for everyone or many of them to travel to these snow-covered mountains because of different reasons. Uh, but now we can see that there are so many facilities that are available, and so it has been possible for more number of people to go to these mountain peaks if they wish to, or at least they can go quite far, quite closer to these places and see them um, i- at a very short distance. Then so many beaches, also new beaches we were not aware of earlier, but because of so much of use of modern technology, we can see those beaches also. We came to know about those beaches and we can see that. Also, similar is the case with the pristine jungles. Jungle safaris were not so common earlier, but now we can see that it is quite common that all the jungles have their safaris, and the visitors or the tourists are can have the safaris in a very protected manner, protected way, so that they can see the wildlife, and uh, neither they are harmed by the wildlife nor the wildlife is being harmed by the people. So these there were so many other sites also which were neglected previously, but became now they have become important locations of tourist interest. Mass media began to make special audiovisual presentations highlighting places of tourist interest. So now the reason behind so many places which were neglected previously but now have become the important locations of tourist interest, the one of the major reasons behind that is that mass media is advertising. So this, because of these advertisements and news in the newspapers and different medias, it has it has come up with so many uh, audio visual presentations, and which highlights places of tourist interest. So people those who were unaware of these places also become aware, and then they have some interest in visiting those places, and that is how so many locations of tourist interest, which were not previously so very well known or so very visited, frequently visited, are now very important locations for the tourists. Tourism can be broadly classified into local tourism, interstate tourism, national tourism, international tourism, religious tourism, historical tourism, health tourism, science tourism, agro tourism, sports tourism, and tourism based on social events, special events, etc. So, we are going to discuss all of these in details, out of which we have already discussed about what is local tourism, interstate tourism, and international tourism. Now, religious tourism, in short, is when people visit some other places for the religious point of view, or visiting to the religious, some temples you can say, or some religious festivals or religious offerings. It is called as religious tourism. Historical tourism is when people visit places for its historical importance. Health tourism is when people visit places for their health. For example, we have very good treatments available in Kerala, Ayurveda treatment. So people visit Kerala for these Ayurvedic treatments, that is called as health tourism. Also, there are in some places there is naturopathy treatments are available, which is quite popular or very well known in India. So people from abroad travel here for those treatments. Also, science tourism, again related to science. Agro tourism is related to the agricultural. So for the development of agriculture and acquiring more knowledge, or getting things related to agriculture, agro tourism is the type of tourism. Then we have sports tourism. People travel to faraway places or even other countries or locally also for participating in sports or having training, different type of specialized trainings in some sports. Then tourism based on special events. Other than this, when there are some special events which are to be attended, for those special events people travel to these special for these special events. So these are few of the types of tourism, we can say, which are mentioned in this chapter and which we are going to study in detail. So here are some pictures wherein we can see, this is an example of um You can say international tourism as well as tourism. So this is an example of pyramids in Egypt. So for us, it can be an example of international tourism. It is a place of historical importance as well. So this, then we have, this is a beautiful beach. So this is an example of natural beauty. Then this is the example of a beautiful forest. So people visit these places for the safaris or the natural beauty as well. These are the beautiful handicrafts and artifacts. So people visit such places for their beautiful handicrafts. Then over here we also have the example of snow covered mountains.